This is often the moment where many relationships break down. People assume that conflict means incompatibility. They interpret emotional intensity as a sign that something is wrong. But in reality, depth naturally brings hidden material to the surface. The closer someone gets, the less room there is to hide from yourself. When love reveals the shadow, it creates an opportunity. You begin to see patterns in your reactions. Maybe you realize you fear abandonment more than you thought. Maybe you notice a tendency to withdraw when feeling vulnerable. Instead of blaming the other person entirely, you start asking deeper questions about your own history. The powerful difference in transformative love is that these moments are not used as weapons, they are used as mirrors. Instead of saying, "This is who you are and it is unacceptable," the approach becomes, "This reaction tells us something important." There is accountability, but also compassion. Light and shadow exist together. The same person who brings out your joy can also bring out your insecurity. The same bond that feels safe can also feel frightening when old fears arise. This does not mean the connection is toxic. It means it is significant enough to touch deeper layers of the psyche. Growth begins when both individuals are willing to look inward. When conflict happens, the question shifts from winning to understanding. Instead of trying to dominate, there is an effort to communicate honestly. Instead of suppressing emotions, there is curiosity about their origin. Facing the shadow requires maturity. It means admitting flaws without collapsing into shame. It means recognizing that emotional triggers often come from past experiences rather than the present moment alone. When someone stands beside you while you confront those parts, trust deepens. This process is not comfortable. It can feel raw and vulnerable, but it also strengthens intimacy in a way surface harmony never could. You begin to know each other not only at your best, but also in moments of weakness. Over time, the relationship becomes a container for integration. The shadow is no longer something to hide. It becomes something to understand and gradually transform. The light grows stronger because it is no longer built on denial. A love that reveals both light and shadow does not promise constant ease. It offers something more meaningful. It offers self-awareness, emotional depth, and the chance to become more whole within the presence of another human being. When a connection feels grounding rather than intoxicating, it carries a different kind of power. It is not built on constant adrenaline or emotional extremes. It does not leave you anxious, guessing, or emotionally exhausted. Instead, it creates stability, a steady presence that calms the nervous system rather than overstimulating it. Many people confuse intensity with depth. Fast attraction, dramatic highs, and unpredictable lows can feel exciting, but excitement alone is not the same as emotional security. In fact, chaos can sometimes mimic passion. When love is truly aligned, it feels balanced. There is warmth without instability. In the psychological view of Carl Jung, the human psyche seeks integration. It seeks wholeness. A grounding relationship supports that integration. It does not fragment you into anxiety and obsession. It helps you remain centered in yourself while still connected to another person. Grounding love feels calm in the body. You do not constantly question where you stand. You are not overanalyzing every message or tone shift. There is clarity in communication. There is consistency in behavior. Words and actions match. That consistency builds trust slowly but powerfully. Peace in a relationship does not mean boredom. It means emotional predictability. You know how conflict will be handled. You know there will be conversation instead of silent punishment. You know effort will be mutual. This predictability allows you to relax and focus on living rather than surviving emotionally. A grounding presence also supports independence. You are not consumed. You still have your goals, friendships, and identity. The connection adds to your life rather than replacing it. You feel strong as an individual and secure as a partner. There is no pressure to abandon yourself to maintain closeness. This kind of love creates emotional regulation. When stress from outside life appears, you do not feel alone in facing it. There is support, but not control, encouragement, but not dependency. It feels like standing beside someone rather than clinging to them. In grounded love, disagreements do not threaten the foundation. They are approached with patience. Even during tension, there is an underlying awareness that the bond is stable. That awareness reduces fear, and when fear decreases, communication becomes healthier. You may notice that your mind feels quieter in this connection. There is less dramatic storytelling about what could go wrong, less suspicion, less insecurity. The emotional environment feels safe enough that your imagination does not constantly prepare for disaster. Grounding love also encourages long-term thinking. Decisions are not impulsive, they are thoughtful. There is consideration for shared goals and shared responsibility. It feels mature, it feels intentional. Over time, this stability builds deep intimacy, not the kind that burns quickly and fades, but the kind that strengthens gradually. You begin to associate the relationship with peace rather than tension, with clarity rather than confusion. In a world where unpredictability often passes as romance, calm connection can feel unfamiliar at first, but once experienced, it becomes clear how powerful it is. It allows both individuals to grow without fear, to speak without walking on eggshells, to love without constant emotional turbulence. A grounding connection does not demand constant intensity to prove its value. Its strength is felt in consistency, in reliability, in the quiet confidence that you are supported and understood without needing chaos to keep the bond alive. When two lives are aligned in values and direction, the connection feels purposeful rather than accidental. Attraction may bring two people together, but shared meaning is what allows them to walk forward side by side. Without that alignment, even strong emotions can slowly create distance. In the understanding of Carl Jung, every individual is guided by inner symbols and personal values that shape decisions. These values are not always spoken directly, but they influence how a person views commitment, family, ambition, responsibility, honesty, and growth. When two people share similar core principles, their paths naturally move in harmony. Alignment does not mean being identical. Personalities can be different, interests can vary, but at the deeper level, there is agreement about what truly matters. There is mutual respect for integrity. There is a shared understanding of effort and loyalty. There is agreement on how to handle challenges rather than escape them. When someone is the love of your life, conversations about the future feel natural instead of forced. There is comfort in discussing long-term goals. Decisions about career, lifestyle, or priorities are approached as a team. Even when opinions differ, the foundation of shared values keeps the discussion grounded. This alignment creates emotional security because both are moving in the same general direction. It reduces hidden tension. There is no constant fear that one person is outgrowing the other or secretly wanting a completely different life. There is transparency about desires and expectations. Shared direction also strengthens trust. When values match, actions tend to reflect similar standards. Promises carry weight. Effort is consistent. Boundaries are respected. These small, repeated behaviors build confidence in the relationship over time. Without alignment, love can feel like constant compromise. One person may sacrifice dreams, the other may feel misunderstood. But when direction is shared, compromise feels balanced rather than one-sided. Adjustments are made with mutual understanding, not resentment. There is also emotional maturity in aligned relationships. Both individuals understand that love alone does not sustain a future. Practical considerations matter. Responsibility matters. Personal growth matters. The connection becomes a partnership built on both feeling and intention. Alignment brings a sense of teamwork. Success is celebrated together. Challenges are faced together. There is less competition and more collaboration. Each person supports the other's progress because it strengthens the shared vision rather than threatening it. Over time, this harmony creates stability. Life inevitably changes, circumstances shift. But when values remain steady, the relationship adapts without losing its foundation. There is flexibility without losing identity. You may notice that decisions feel lighter because they are not made alone. There is confidence that the other person sees the world in a similar way. That shared perception reduces doubt and builds unity. When direction is aligned, love feels intentional. It feels chosen every day through consistent action. There is clarity about why you are together and where you are going. And that clarity creates strength that goes beyond temporary emotion. A connection built on shared values and shared vision becomes more than romance. It becomes a steady journey forward, guided by mutual respect and a common understanding of what truly matters. When a relationship supports inner wholeness rather than dependency, it changes the entire emotional dynamic. The connection does not feel like a rescue mission. It does not feel like survival. Instead, it feels like two complete individuals choosing to walk together. In the psychology of Carl Jung, the ultimate goal of human development is wholeness. Not perfection, but integration. The integration of strengths and weaknesses, logic and emotion, light and shadow. A healthy bond supports that process. It does not replace it. Dependency often begins quietly. It can look like constant reassurance seeking. It can feel like panic at the thought of distance. It can create the belief that happiness only exists in the presence of the other person. While closeness is natural, losing one's center is not. When someone supports your inner wholeness, you still recognize your own identity. Your opinions remain intact. Your goals continue to matter. Your individuality is respected rather than absorbed. The relationship becomes part of your life, not the entirety of it. There is emotional closeness, but there is also space. Time apart does not automatically create fear. Personal growth outside the relationship is encouraged. Friendships, ambitions, and self-reflection are valued. Instead of feeling threatened by independence, both understand that it strengthens the connection. Supporting wholeness means encouraging responsibility. You are not expected to fix each other's emotional wounds. You can support, listen, and care, but healing remains a personal journey. This removes pressure. It prevents resentment from building over unrealistic expectations. In dependent dynamics, conflicts can feel catastrophic. There is fear that any disagreement could destroy everything. In relationships rooted in wholeness, conflict is uncomfortable but not devastating. Both individuals know their self-worth does not disappear because of tension. A connection that supports wholeness also nurtures self-trust. You do not abandon your intuition to keep peace. You do not silence your needs to avoid rejection. Instead, you communicate openly. Boundaries are expressed calmly. Respect becomes mutual. Over time, this creates emotional strength. You learn that love does not require self-sacrifice to the point of losing identity. You understand that closeness can exist without control. You feel valued for who you are, not for how much you can give up. There is also a sense of choice in this kind of bond. You're not staying because you are afraid of being alone. You're staying because the connection adds depth and meaning to your life. That distinction changes everything. Love becomes intentional rather than reactive. When inner wholeness is supported, growth continues naturally. You evolve individually and as a pair. There is admiration for each other's progress rather than jealousy. There is pride in watching the other expand. This kind of relationship feels stable because it is not built on emotional dependence. It is built on respect, shared values, and self-awareness. Each person stands firmly within themselves while still reaching outward. And in that balance between independence and intimacy, love becomes a space where two complete lives connect without losing their shape. Love, when it is truly profound, is not about constant excitement or fleeting passion. It is about presence, understanding, and growth. Often, people mistake intensity for depth, believing that the faster their heart races, the more meaningful the connection must be. But real love is quieter, subtler, and more enduring. It awakens something inside us that we may not have fully recognized before. It encourages us to face our fears, confront our shadows, and embrace both the light and darker sides of our own nature. A deep connection does not ask us to hide behind masks or perform for approval. It allows authenticity to flourish. When someone sees us fully, our strengths, our vulnerabilities, our mistakes, without judgment, it creates a sense of safety that is rare in the world. This comfort lets us relax into ourselves and into the relationship. It allows honest conversations, shared silences, and emotional transparency, all of which deepen the bond over time. Love of this kind does not demand dependency. It supports individuality and personal growth. It allows both people to stand fully in their own lives while moving forward together. Time apart is not frightening but natural. Differences do not create distance but invite understanding. Shared values and life direction make decisions easier, conflicts gentler, and mutual respect stronger. Conflict in such relationships becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. When triggers surface, old fears arise, or shadows appear, the connection does not collapse. Instead, it acts as a mirror, reflecting parts of ourselves we need to face. This process can be uncomfortable, yet it strengthens trust and intimacy. The love that brings out both light and shadow is the one that transforms a person from the inside, creating emotional depth and maturity. A relationship that supports wholeness does not just revolve around external gestures or excitement. It provides stability, grounding, and clarity. It makes life feel more aligned rather than chaotic, allowing both individuals to thrive emotionally and psychologically. When love encourages growth, authenticity, reflection, and inner balance, it is no longer merely a feeling. It becomes a force that shapes lives, guiding both people toward a fuller, more complete version of themselves. In essence, the love of a lifetime is not about drama or intensity. It is about transformation, trust, and alignment. It is about a quiet strength that nurtures the soul, a stability that encourages independence, and a presence that fosters emotional wholeness. This is the kind of love that does not just touch the heart but shapes the inner life, helping a person become more authentic, more aware, and more complete. Love of the kind that truly lasts is not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It is subtle, steady, and deeply transformative. It does not overwhelm with intensity, but invites reflection, presence, and growth. In these relationships, there is a sense of ease and calm, a feeling that being yourself is enough. You are not constantly performing or trying to impress. The connection allows the authentic self to emerge, and in that space, emotional safety is created. When love encourages authenticity, it creates an environment where vulnerability is not only accepted but welcomed. Fears, insecurities, and past wounds can surface without fear of judgment or rejection. Honest communication becomes natural, and even silence feels comfortable. There is no need to fill every moment with words or actions to prove value. Instead, the relationship is strengthened by trust, understanding, and the simple presence of another person who sees and accepts the whole of who you are. A deep connection also promotes growth. Real love encourages self-awareness and reflection. It brings hidden patterns and unconscious behaviors to light, not to punish, but to help understand and integrate them. The challenges that arise within such a bond become opportunities to confront personal shadows, to heal, and to become more whole. Emotional triggers and conflicts are seen as mirrors rather than threats, guiding each person towards self-discovery and maturity. This kind of love does not foster dependency. It allows space for individuality, personal goals, and life outside the relationship. Time apart does not create anxiety. Instead, it reinforces trust and mutual respect. Both people are able to pursue their own paths while remaining connected, supporting one another's growth rather than controlling or stifling it. The relationship becomes a partnership between two complete individuals rather than a reliance on one for emotional survival. Shared values and alignment in life direction are also crucial. When both people move towards similar goals and ideals, decision-making becomes collaborative rather than stressful, and challenges can be faced together without fear of drifting apart. Stability and mutual understanding replace chaos, and the connection feels secure because it is grounded in more than just emotions. It is built on shared meaning and respect. In this kind of love, presence matters more than performance, and patience matters more than urgency. There is an inner calm, a sense of being understood, and a gentle encouragement to grow into one's fullest self. It is a love that balances intimacy with independence, passion with stability, and excitement with peace. It does not require drama to prove its value. It proves itself through trust, growth, authenticity, and alignment. Ultimately, the love of a lifetime is transformational. It does not merely make a person feel seen, it helps them become more fully themselves. It nurtures wholeness, encourages reflection, embraces both light and shadow, and supports emotional growth. This love is quiet but profound, gentle but powerful, and steady enough to sustain life's challenges while deepening the connection over time. It is the kind of love that shapes character, strengthens the soul, and leaves an enduring mark on the heart. Love that lasts is rarely loud or dramatic. It does not announce itself with fireworks or constant excitement. Instead, it shows up in quiet moments, in consistent presence, and in the ways it encourages people to grow together. This kind of love feels safe, calm, and steady. It allows each person to be fully themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. There is a sense that you can relax into the connection without performing, without pretending, without hiding your true feelings. A relationship like this invites vulnerability. When fears, insecurities, or past wounds surface, they are met with understanding rather than criticism. Honest conversations become natural, and silence is no longer uncomfortable. Trust forms in these small, consistent ways, creating a sense of emotional safety that makes intimacy deeper and more meaningful. You do not have to constantly prove your worth, because acceptance is already given. Real love also fosters growth. It encourages self-awareness and reflection, helping individuals recognize patterns and habits they may not have noticed before. Moments of tension or conflict are not threats but opportunities to understand oneself and each other better. The relationship acts like a mirror, showing both strengths and areas that need attention, not to punish, but to guide toward personal development. Facing these challenges together strengthens the bond and deepens trust. Independence and individuality are never sacrificed in this type of love. Time apart does not create fear or insecurity. Instead, it allows both people to pursue their goals, maintain their identities, and grow on their own terms. The connection is built on mutual respect and shared purpose, not on dependency or neediness. Both individuals are complete on their own, and the relationship becomes a space of mutual support rather than emotional reliance. Shared values and a common direction in life reinforce this bond. When both people understand what truly matters to them, decisions become easier, disagreements more manageable, and the connection more resilient. Alignment in vision and ethics provide stability, even in the face of life's unpredictability. It creates a sense that the relationship is intentional, grounded, and meaningful beyond fleeting feelings. In such a connection, presence and understanding matter more than grand gestures. Patience, honesty, and consistency are the true markers of commitment. Love is expressed not in intensity or drama, but in the calm assurance that each person is seen, respected, and supported. It balances closeness with space, passion with peace, and challenge with compassion. Ultimately, the love of a lifetime is transformational. It does not only make a person feel cared for, it helps them become more whole. It nurtures the best in both individuals, encourages reflection, embraces light and shadow, and provides stability and growth. It is quiet but powerful, gentle but life-changing. This is the kind of love that shapes character, strengthens emotional depth, and leaves a lasting impression on the heart and soul. When you look at all of this together, a deeper picture begins to form. The love of your life is not defined by dramatic moments or constant intensity. It is revealed through growth, authenticity, shadow work, grounding peace, shared direction, and inner wholeness. These are not loud signs, they are steady ones. Real love changes you, but it does not erase you. It challenges you, but it does not break you. It brings your hidden parts to the surface, not to shame them, but to help you understand them. It feels safe enough to be honest and strong enough to handle truth. In the spirit of Carl Jung, such a connection becomes part of your psychological journey. It supports your becoming. It does not ask you to shrink, pretend, or depend in unhealthy ways. Instead, it invites you to stand fully in yourself while walking beside another. When love feels grounding instead of chaotic, when it encourages responsibility instead of avoidance, when it aligns with your values and supports your individuality, it carries depth, it carries meaning, it carries intention. And perhaps that is the clearest understanding of all. The love of your life is not just someone you feel strongly about. It is someone whose presence helps you become more aware, more integrated, and more whole.